Hi guys, welcome to my channel, So Ashley, where normally I would be sewing things, but today we're doing a bathroom renovation. It literally has taken us many months to finish this bathroom because we did it ourselves, mostly. But let's just jump right into the befores. So basically we started with this basic 60s, maybe even 50s bathroom with the pastel squared tiles. I honestly didn't hate the pink and blue, but the burgundy was weird. The doors on the shower were super rusty and the paint was just chipping off all the walls, and none of the plumbing worked except for the toilet, thank God. So here's the inspiration board that I made on Millinote. This is what we're going for. I basically still want it to be warm and not too white and clean and cold. Just a little more updated. So let's get started with the demo. So before we started with the actual demo, we had to get ready for the plumbers to come in and snake all the drains, put in the new vanity, and replace some of the pipes for the shower. So I ordered a tub and shower kit from Home Depot and a faucet for the vanity as well. After the plumbing got fixed up, we did take a little break from the bathroom. We just got really busy with events and other projects and work. And while it was really nice to have a new working sink, I did feel like I was cheating a little bit by using it before the bathroom was actually renovated. So when we were finally ready, I took everything out of the bathroom to prepare for demo day. Here's everything we got from Home Depot to prepare for demo. We got safety goggles, safety glasses, gloves, some intense masks, and most importantly, an angle grinder and some diamond blades. So here's how it was looking after the plumbers put in the new pipes for the shower and Alexi took out the doors. Pretty crusty. So this ain't my first rodeo, and I knew this was going to take a long time and be really dusty, so I attempted to make a whole plastic tunnel to keep the dust mostly isolated into the bathroom. And then we were ready to start busting holes in walls. So the drywall came out pretty much as easy as expected. I did get a warning about the tile being difficult because in the 60s it was common practice to put chicken wire behind tile and basically cement it on. So even when it breaks, it still really likes to hang on there. So that's where our new angle grinder comes in handy. So Alexi took the angle grinder and cut the wall into sections all the way through the chicken wire so we could take the tile off in chunks. And even though we did vacuum as he was cutting, it was still really dusty. Alright, so it's day 2 of what's it called? Demo. And I'm on my own today, so I'm gonna try my best. We got the whole shower out, all the tiles out. I'm so tired. I need some coffee before I start. But basically that's what we have done so far. We took everything out of the shower. We're keeping the tub, so I need to clean that out today. We were just too tired yesterday. And then there's some water damage down here on the other side of the wall, so I think I'm gonna take that out today. It's not that pretty anyway. And then I'm gonna attempt to take out at least the tile around the sides. Hopefully gently enough that I don't have to replace all of the drywall. And then we'll see if I can even start the floor. Maybe I'll start from here, and then I can't really take the vanity and toilet out myself, so I have to wait at least till tomorrow. I'm gonna go make some coffee. So after I cleaned out the tub, I cut out the nasty section of the drywall. And the bottom of it literally just fell apart when I picked it up. Okay, so we got this wall out. Now I can see like all the way into the crawl space. Now I just have to like go through all the studs and clean them up and take all the nails out. But yeah, that's gonna be a long process. There's like a million nails. I already started, but it's coming along. I did end up finding some termite damage when I was cleaning up the drywall, but it wasn't anything structural or active, so moving on. I took out the transition piece for the floor and attempted to pop off some of the tiles, but only a couple of them wanted to come up and the rest of them were not moving. So I decided to go back in and take off the blue tiles first, since I knew that would be easy for me to do alone. And then the last thing I did that day was take off this massive amount of silicone from the tub. Alright, y'all. It's like day 5 now. We took a break. Day 3, we got like a lot of supplies from Lowe's and Home Depot. And today I'm gonna attempt to use the angle grinder. So wish me luck. I'm gonna need it. So I just had to cut the floor into sections all the way through that chicken wire again, just like with the shower. Cut the floor. It didn't hurt myself, so that's cool. But I'm not sure if I cut far enough, so I'm gonna try to lift it a little with the crowbar and see if I have to cut it again. Hopefully I don't, because that was a lot of dust. And this mask hurts my face. What's your skincare routine? I just remembered I have to take the door off. How the fuck am I supposed to unscrew that? Okay, I know you're gonna say, oh, you're supposed to take the pin out. But I was gonna replace those rusty hinges anyway, so leave me alone. Anyway, after I got the door out, I attempted to lift the floor with the crowbar. I wish I had a longer one, but we don't. And I almost threw my back out that day, but I was determined. I finally got one giant chunk out when Alexi's dad came home and took out the other 2 chunks that I had cut and revealed a bit of water damage around the tub. A couple days later, we got the rest of the tile out and Sean came over to help us fix the subfloor. He also cut these furring strips out to make it easier to tile the shower later. Then I was on my own again, so I attempted to peel off all the loose paint, which was literally most of it. I don't think they used primer at all. But now you can enjoy this oddly satisfying footage. Then Sean came over to help me with the backer board for the shower, and he screwed it in while I followed behind, siliconing over all the screws and seams. Then the next day I finished waterproofing the shower, covering all the screws and the corners. And risking my life to get that top corner. And I put waterproofing tape around the pipes. This way, if any water gets behind the tile, it won't be penetrating my wall. Then speaking of walls, it was time for me to fix the drywall on the other side. Then I realized I still need to fill in this teeny tiny hole in the corner, and it wasn't really gonna be holding much up, so I just doubled up the backer board and slapped a bunch of caulking on there. We also replaced all the drywall around the door, so I had to go in and smooth all that out. And I kind of find it therapeutic now, but I think Alexi found it pretty stressful. Then our floor tile arrived. And we laid the whole pattern out with the spacers and everything before we started cutting. And luckily Alexi's dad got us this tile saw. I don't know what we would have done without it. There were a lot of tiles to cut, and this was just so fast and easy. but for the more complicated pieces, the angle grinder did come in handy. Before laying the tile, we put down our Schluter underlayment.
What do I do with that?
I was a little nervous because this was my first time using thin set. I watched a billion videos, so it was pretty simple. It just takes some practice. So the Schluter was a good thing to start on because you can easily lift it up to check your coverage and fix it.
I need more on the side. I want the other side. Yeah, I need more.
And here's the finished look. Just kidding, now it's time to lay down the tile. And I will link all the videos that I followed to feel confident enough to do this because I really didn't know what the hell I was doing. I just followed directions. And I definitely made some mistakes and I definitely learned some things despite the tutorials, but we'll get into that. Okay, so I wanted to give an update. So here's what happened with the leveling clip spacers for me. I obviously got like the cheapest ones on Amazon, but they had good reviews, okay? So yesterday we like started snapping them off after it set, and we hit them all with the mallet in the same way you're supposed to do it, in line with the grout lines, and they didn't break the right way. Like most of them didn't break the right way. Not really sure why. My theory is that the plastic is just like too soft to snap, so like it would just bend or like snap in the wrong place. So I wouldn't recommend these specific ones. So basically we had to go through and take out all the little pieces that were still sticking up, like these little pieces. That was really hard. They like really didn't want to come out. So we used like a tiny drill bit to like drill out. Mia? Hi. I swear to God it was like every other grout line. But basically some of them were so stubborn that it actually lifted the tile, even though the tile was like fully adhered. It wasn't totally cured yet. So we have a few that we had to kind of relay down last night. So we're still waiting for those to cure before we can put the grout. But I think I'm going to finish the drywall, and that's pretty much all I can do today. But it looks good other than that. I think a couple of them aren't even level, even though they had the leveling clip, so I don't even know why we use them. You live and you learn. Anyway, get off of me. So after that whole debacle with the spacers, it was finally time to do the grout, and I was pretty slow about it. I just wanted to make sure I didn't have any holes anywhere. So I only did like 1 or 2 rows of tile at a time before cleaning up with the sponge, because I was also terrified that it was gonna dry and not be able to come off at all. Every tutorial that I watched was like, don't let it dry for too long because it's really hard to get off. But it was actually really easy to get the hang of after all the other hard work we put in. I just feel because the demo was so hard, everything else felt a lot easier. here's how it was looking with all the grout lines filled in. Then we finally started to prep the walls for paint, and we took that really old vanity light out.
Okay. Now you gotta take the freaking battery off. Oh my god, Alexi, it's on again. Don't do that. Did I turn it off? I turned it off.
Yeah, are you serious right now?
It's off. It's off. I turned it off because you were scared.
Then I touched up all the drywall and filled in all those random holes and bumps and whatnot. Then I got my little paint samples, and that was me laughing at how white this color is. It was called Barely Brown, but it's white. I mean, it's really barely brown. Luckily, the other color was exactly what I wanted. Sorry, the lighting's so awful, you'll see it later. Then I decided to add another project into the mix because I had to do something with these ugly, weird shelves. So essentially my plan was to build a frame out of the extra plywood to make the shelves look like they go all the way up to the ceiling and make them look like they're supposed to be there. So I used the jigsaw to cut out 2 long pieces for each side and then 4 squiggly pieces for the shelves. And when I tested them out, they, for some reason, weren't fitting right.
How do I do it? Oh, it's because I'm a fucking idiot.
It turns out I used 2 different thicknesses of plywood, so I just went back and cut out more pieces. And I used finishing nails to secure it to the shelves. And at this point, I was really wishing I had a brad nailer to make this go faster. But it still turned out really cute, even with the struggle.
So it's Monday now. I was a little too hungover yesterday to be sanding these walls, so that's what I'm gonna do today. I still need to go to Home Depot and get the actual paint. I thought we had primer, and I was lying to myself that it was like 3 years old. It was chunky. So we're a little bit behind, and we need to get this done before Saturday because we're having a party. So wish me luck.
So after I sanded down the walls, I attempted to wipe the dust off with a sponge. I also scraped all of the paint off of the door and sanded that down. And then I manically rolled my primer on before it got too cold.
Hello. We're back in the bathroom with another update. We primed all the walls last night and Nick forgot to record, but we're not doing the shower yet until after the party on Saturday. I'm so tired right now because this morning at like 6:30 in the morning I heard this like explosion and a huge flash of light outside my window, and I was like, what was that? I got up super early. Anyway, turns out that explosion was like one of the electrical boxes outside. Now it's like 11 and our power's still out. So at least I'm onto painting now, so I can still do that, but I have to sand the window and I guess I have to do it by hand now. I was in here yesterday from like 12 to like 9 p.m. I'm just tired now because I can't make coffee. I have a Keurig. What do I do?
So after I made myself some instant coffee, I went outside and finished painting the door. And I attempted to put a second coat of primer on this cabinet because it decided to turn yellow, and it turns out it was because of the type of wood, and you need to use oil-based paint for that type of wood or it will turn yellow. Then that night we decided it was finally time to get the toilet back.
Yeah, that's really good actually.
The toilet.
No!
And if you'll notice, we did paint one layer behind the toilet before we put it in. Hashtag life hacks. I still had a lot of painting to do to get ready for the party, so the next day I painted all of the cabinet doors, and let me tell you, this blue tape was like super glue. It was so irritating. I was ready for a satisfying video and it was really disappointing. Then after all that prepping, it was finally time to get my perfect paint color on the walls.
Alright, we're back. It's Thursday. Whew. I didn't sleep well again. I got a bloody nose at 3:30 in the morning, so at least we have power today. There's not a ton to do to get ready for the party in 2 days, at least to get it ready for people to use. We ran out of time to do the baseboards. Ain't no way we're getting that in. And I'm gonna attempt to probably put the light fixtures in. And then it's just the vanity. We're gonna hide this for now. I went to Marshall's yesterday and got a shower curtain, a shower rod, and the little hooks. Almost forgot the hooks. So, I'm so tired. Let's get this shit done.
So I started off by replacing the old light fixtures with the new ones that I ordered, which honestly took way longer than it needed to because they're so crusty and old.
I don't know how this shit works, so I'm just gonna cut it.
The new fixture was a little bit smaller than the old one, so I did have to touch up the paint a little bit. And this is where I realized that I put the other light fixture in upside down after struggling so hard to screw it in too. So I had to flip that around. But then we were ready for the party, which I didn't get any footage of. So after the party, Sean actually ended up replacing the window frame for us and the outlet by the sink. This was the really small metal box that I was in before. No wonder why it was flickering all the time. He also helped us get the floorboards in. And then we finally moved on to the shower tile. And we used a laser level to make sure everything was nice and straight. I popped off the first tile because I wanted to make sure I was getting enough coverage. I wanted those things to be real secure. So we did end up back buttering them. Even though they were small enough, we probably didn't have to. And we just used the spacers on the top and bottom of the tiles, not so much in between because they're not really going to shift that way unless you're pushing on them. We tiled all the way up to the ceiling, and here's how that first wall was looking. We did a 1/3 pattern with the subway tile, and the horseshoe spacers looked so satisfying. Then Sean's OCD kicked in when he came over and he started taking out the spacers and cleaning the tile. The next day I was on my own again, and I just wanted to show you how unlevel the tub was. It was almost 1/2 inch off, so we had to shave down the bottom line of the tile to make it level, if that makes sense. And if you're wondering why I'm kneeling on a pillow, this is why. Here are all the tile pieces that I cut for one wall. And then I realized I forgot about these shelves. So we did have to go back in and chisel out one of the tiles, but it did make me feel better about like how well it was holding on. But luckily we had enough extra tile to cut the new pieces for the shelves. So here's a fun little obstacle. That night right before I went to bed, I went to wash my hands in the sink and all of a sudden water started filling up in the tub, and obviously I freaked out. So we went early in the morning to buy a drain snake from Home Depot, and that day I learned how to snake a tub drain. And it was so frustrating. I got it stuck, and then when I pulled it out, there was basically nothing on it. So I had to do it like 3 more times until I finally got the clog out. It was like some sort of baby headband from at least the 90s. Then suddenly after that, the washing machine drained and the tub filled up again, but this time with rust. So I cleaned that up with a bunch of Clorox wipes. Not sponsored. And I poured a bunch of water down there to test the drainage, and it was working totally fine. Thank God, because I was having a crisis. Then I could finally move on to what I wanted to do that day, which was finish the tile. So that the next day, Alexi and I could put in the grout. Then after the grout dried, I went in with the grout sealer so it wouldn't stain so easily. Then we could finally install the shower and tub kit. And I got the oil rub bronze to match the sink faucet. And life hack, it's really easy to clean up the silicone with a Clorox wipe and it still dries properly. Then it was time to reglaze the old tub, and I will link the products that we used and the tutorial that we followed for that. And let me tell you, even with those intense masks on, that paint is so strong. I got so high off of the paint fumes, even with the window open and everything. Two days later, the tub was cured and I screwed back in the tub drain. and accessories. I finally got to hang up my towel hooks that have been waiting for me this whole time in a box. And don't let anybody tell you you can't use a drill or a hammer with nails on. I also got this towel bar to match the hooks and all the fixtures and everything. And here it is, what you've all been waiting for, the before and after for this bathroom. That's all I have for you guys. I'm so happy it's finished. We definitely couldn't have gotten it done without Sean. I would probably still be working on it right now and crying. If you like how it turned out, leave a comment down below and give this video a thumbs up. There will be a few more renovations coming up in the future, so don't forget to subscribe if you want to see those. And I'm gonna go hang out in the bathroom. Thanks for watching.